raise them higher. I mean, there's a lot of frustration.
But the bottom line is we commented pretty hard on that. And it's got to be the business owners too that get out there.
Well, there was a few business owners on there.
Who?
I don't recall, but there was a couple that was business owners on there that was referring. That was not happy about it.
Nobody wants it. And then Jeff Osborne would keep asking us, well, what do you suggest?
Well, I've told him suggestions several times.
I think it's like I have a few parking lots all over down, around. And if there's a random car parking there overnight, I would probably tow it. $50 fine. So it's a solution, and then they tabled it for 6 months to even talk about it.
The one thing I get tired about being told is we've been talking about these topics for I don't know how long, and I'm tired of hearing that. Well, we need to collect more information. I've seen several hundred or thousands of people's opinions over the last 5 or 10 years on this, and they're all the same. Get rid of them. Don't raise prices. Nobody wants them. That's from business owners to regular citizens. So
it is a complete cash grab to me because nothing happens after 5 p.m. at night
or the weekends
and raising the price. We always
sent the wrong message.
It sent the wrong message to people. We're trying to grow Muscatine and make it a lot better downtown. And what do? We talk about meters. We talk about automation. They table any further conversation for 6 months, and then they go right into raising it. They got what they wanted. They didn't go through the.
I was also told by one of the council members, it's harder than the way it looks. Well, it didn't look hard to raise the prices. You're going to tell me it's hard to lower them, it's hard to get rid of them? It's not hard. You need 4 board members that come to their common senses and say that we've had enough.
One thing, we do give Jeff quite a bit of crap on stuff, but Jeff was the only one that voted nay to continue talking about it. The rest of them voted no more talk about it for 6 months. Jeff got overrid. So I was pretty proud of Jeff for standing up on that one. But I think the people that want meters cannot shop downtown, or they come after 5.
Right. Well, the sad thing about it is reading through all those messages, and this isn't the first thread that had all these type of messages, is the amount of people that say they never go downtown to shop. They never come downtown to do business because of the meters.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I found interesting, because we've done a little bit of math on this, when you look at part of the reason behind this is to turn over the parking lot or parking spots on 2nd Street, like you do a restaurant table, right? And if you look at the 2-hour number of turns that you can get done versus, say somebody does park there all day, it's not numbers that are going to be so large that it drastically changes a business's outlook on life, right? So you're not even really fully accomplishing the thing that you want to accomplish in a worst case scenario. So I think that's the interesting thing. And I'm not for this concept of like everybody being able to park wherever they want for however long, but some of the other things that you've got to look at, not just the businesses, but like the businesses are in some ways, Brian, like you, the people that own the buildings, right? Their business often includes tenants. Nobody talks about where tenants park, right? Nobody talks about the fact that there's a lot of Section 8 apartments, people that are, having challenges in their life, and then they can't park there. Well, they can overnight, but they can't during the day. And it's putting extra costs and extra stress on them. Who's talking about that during the conversation? I don't think anybody is.
Well, and there's a solution. They keep saying bring up solutions, and Brian and I both have, and then they went to a time meter without the meters. We've got plenty of the side streets now that don't have the meters, and the attendant chalks the tire, and if you're still there in 2 hours, you get your $5 ticket. They could extend that. The solution is get rid of the meters, extend that to a 3 or 4 hour time. The meter attendant still chalks the tire. You still get a ticket. So the solutions to me are simple for those, whether it's business people parking there too long, whether it's tenants that are parking there too long, and you just have a limit on it. And they chalk tires now to mark that 2 hour time for the meters that aren't currently there. They can do it across the board.
If the city should not be into, don't worry about parking. if it will work
It
itself
will
out.
work it. So you're right. It will work
if you
itself
park
out.
in front of my business and you're there for 2 days, I'll call in. Cop come chalk it. Next day, you're getting towed.
Right.
I mean, it will work itself out.
It will. It's not a problem they need to be involved with. It will work
No.
itself out.
And if it's not making money, get rid of it.
Yeah,
I mean-
I thought originally it was making 100,000. Then I was told it wasn't, and it's just paying the wages of the two people to keep things turned over.
It's a budget number. The layout of the downtown has changed from the 70s when they come in. It has to go away. The only way at this point, I think, we've talked it to death. We beat it to death. To me, this is my personal opinion, is there's 4 people up for election. Remember that this year, that maybe they're not the right people in my mind to make a better downtown. I don't think, why find a citizen? It seems like they come into council when they're running, just like when you did city council, you have to run on a platform. What do we gain by raising it? Now Boonies has stress. All these businesses have stress of it.
So some of the frustration there that whether it's speed cameras, whether it's parking meters, the people that ran last time for city council, I reached out asking them their opinion on that. And I didn't get a response. And that's frustrating to me. And those things are, they're important to me. I'm against speed cameras. I'm against parking meters. And I want people in there that are fighting on behalf of the citizens and some of these concerns. And then everybody wants to make it out like me and you are the only ones in Muscatine that have an issue with them. And that's not true. It's the majority.
No. A lot of people are just afraid to speak up about them. They're not going nowhere. There's no way to win the system to get them to go away in my eyes. What do you think, Chris? How do we change it? We've talked it to death.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask there, but I think I'm going to step out and admit I know not enough about this to talk about it completely intelligently, but I'm going to anyway, because everybody else does. I think you're right. I think a lot of this stuff will generally work itself out on its own. My biggest concern here is how much time and energy have we all spent talking and thinking about parking. That, again, when you look at the grand scheme of the dollars that go with each turn, it's not life-changing numbers. And I'd like to think that there's something better we could have all been working on, thinking about for the community of Muscatine that wasn't parking. That's my bigger thing. It's like, let's get some leadership together. Let's get this tabled, get it out, whatever we're doing, and move on to bigger stuff.
I agree. We have to, we got to get over parking, but I think the parking meter situation is, they've raised the prices. It's done. I think at this point, it's just all in the 2025 election. If you like what you got, keep it. But other than that, what's going on? I know the L&M gym ballot, the L&M gym that is in your district, the ballots weren't correct. Did you get any feedback on that?
Well, I'm not going to say they weren't correct because everything matched up from all the polling locations with the auditor's office but I got 3 or 4 calls with issues that people may have got the wrong ballot or people didn't get the ballot they was supposed to get to vote in favor of that. It had to pass by 60%, and I think that was in Louisa County and the district in Muscatine that those kids go to L&M school. And there was a lot of controversy about it. I was concerned by some of those controversies. The auditor's office was adamant with the numbers that suggested all the ballots added up, that there were supposed to be 20 people vote at this precinct for that particular gym item, that was how many ballots were given out, and everything lined up appropriate at the auditor's office. So with that being said, there wasn't a lot of pushback to maybe get a revote or something like that. I know there was a couple concerning issues out there,
Yeah.
but apparently the numbers matched up and there wasn't a lot of pushback. We had a supervisors meeting and everybody could have came that to voice their concerns if they thought it was an issue. Besides the superintendent, the 0 residents showed up to voice their concerns, so the auditor's numbers will stand.
Okay. And what is going on at the courthouse? How much longer is that going to be scaffolded?
I believe I believe the courthouse is supposed to be completed around the end of the year. I went up there a couple weeks ago with our planning and zoning director, Eric Furness. Looked around, they tearing off some of the old slated roof. There's a lot of damage underneath. We've got a lot of work order changes on it because once they tear it off, they don't know what they don't know until they get down there. But everything was coming together quite well, and as long as the weather don't hold them up, I think around the end of the year they should be wrapped up and hopefully the scaffolding removed.
Perfect. Chris, Dan, you have anything else?
Jingle and mingle.
Jingle mingle.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Just get ready. It's
have we got a weather report for it yet?
I don't ever pay attention to them.
Jingle
because
mingle.
It's
rain
Iowa.
or shine.
It's not. Yeah, rain or shine. We're gonna have a blast. There's tons of stuff to do inside. Tons of stuff to do outside. Tons of partners again this year. It's been an absolute blast putting it together. A couple new things that I think people are gonna love, from Elizabeth Von Presley to some bounce houses and just all the same normal stuff that you expect out of this. Miss Louise is going to be here. You know, she's been an anchor of this thing since #1. So, it's going to be a blast and, free as always. So.
Okay. You got anything else, Dan?
No, just one more thing before we go. I need to get this over. I need to get this over where it belongs. Got misplaced there for a second.
Chris, we need you to broadcast next game. Remember, have a happy Thanksgiving weekend. We are Muscatine. Enjoy your weekend.